Hello, BookTube, and welcome to another Better Read with Saul episode. This one is about a week later than I wanted to be, but in my newbie tag, I did say I was terrible at goals and deadlines, so you were warned. Anyway, today I am going to be talking about Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin. This was a Christmas/birthday gift that I got in December from my mom, so shout out to her on the channel. Like I mentioned in my 5th season review, I am a huge fan of the A Song of Ice and Fire series. It's my top fantasy series of all time, and not only do I have all of the 5 released so far, but I also have the World of Ice and Fire encyclopedia done by Elio and Linda of the Tower of the Hand fan site with assistance from George, the collection of Duncan Egg short stories, and all sorts of serious memorabilia. So I've been a fan of the books for a long time, before the TV show was even a thing, and in fact since season 5 I haven't been as crazy about the show, but that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, my love for the series started in high school when I walked into my local chapters and saw a paperback copy of The Feast for Crows on display, which is funnily enough my least favorite of the books, and it just caught my eye, especially on the back where it has a blurb from Time magazine calling George the American Tolkien, and I've been hooked ever since. So I was part of a good portion of the wait for A Dance with Dragons, and I've been waiting 8 goddamn years for The Winds of Winter, and don't even get me started on how long we're gonna be waiting for A Dream of Spring. It's okay. I'm okay. Alright, let's get into it. So, this is written as an in-universe history book by an Archmaester of the Citadel, Archmaester Gildane, and it covers not all of the history of the Targaryens. There's supposed to be a 2nd volume coming this year, which, knowing George, who knows, but it covers about not quite 150 years, and it's mostly divided into 4 sections, starting from the rule of the incestuous, polygamous William de Normandy, or Aegon the Conqueror and his wives, through to Maegor the Cruel, the long reign of Jaehaerys I, and then the Dance with Dragons, the most devastating of the many Targaryen civil wars. This is fairly dense, at over 700 pages, and there's a lot of dates and names and details as one would expect from a history book, and I will admit sometimes my eyes glazed over a little bit, especially because, to be frank, some of the stuff, a lot of the stuff in this book is mentioned in the main series. This just goes into a ton more detail on the events, which is fun, but sometimes it's like, okay, I kind of know this already. So that's probably why the Jaehaerys section was my favorite, because we actually didn't know a lot about his rule and that of his sister queen Alysanne, such as his relationship with his first hand Rhaegar Baratheon and his mother, and just a lot of details about that which I appreciated. We also find out about some major events during this time period that aren't necessarily directly connected with the Targaryens, such as where Daenerys' eggs came from. It was kind of fun seeing some of the shoutouts and references to things in the series, such as some of Sam Tarly's ancestors, including his namesake. Throughout the book, there's these illustrations by Doug Wheatley dot the book, and they are fantastic. They really do feel like something you'd find in a real-life medieval manuscript. Archmaester Gildane is as much, if not more, in some cases, as a character as any of these Targaryens, and really has its own voice, although sometimes I have to roll my eyes at some of the things he decided to reference and talk about. So, in conclusion, this was a bit of a hard book to try and rate, but I ended up giving it 3.5 stars out of 5. Part of me feels like, as thick and heavy on the info dump at times as it is, this is more intended for people more into the TV show than more enfranchised readers like myself, and works as a really good jumping into point if you're more interested in the world building of Westeros. But if there were any more series books like this about the Starks or the Martells, I would definitely be interested. There was a reference to a similar work about the Iron Islands and the Greyjoys, which I would be much less interested in, but I would probably still pick up. So yeah, let me know what you think if you've read it or if you're interested. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider giving it a like and my channel a subscribe. So that'll be the sun setting here, and I will see you all next time.